A couple of weeks ago, we gave our take on the 7 greatest goalkeepers of all time. A few of you in the comments suggested that we ought to do a similar video for every position, and today we're going to be taking a look at right back. Once more, there are tens if not hundreds of candidates, so there will be a fair few honourable mentions at the end. Here are our 7 greatest right backs of all time. Berti Vogts. The Germans have incredible pedigree when it comes to right backs, and Berti Vogts is among the finest of the lot. A hard-working and defensively brilliant fullback who was tasked with marking Johan Cruyff out of the 1974 World Cup final, Vogts spent his entire career with Borussia Mönchengladbach. He won 5 Bundesliga titles and 2 UEFA Cups with Gladbach, as well as winning both the World Cup and European Championships with West Germany. Giuseppe Bergomi. From a nation with a great tradition of right-backs to one with an incredible track record across their entire defence, in 6th place is Giuseppe Bergomi. An Italy and Inter Milan legend, he is undoubtedly one of the greatest right-backs to have ever lived. Another one-club man, Bergomi won 1 Serie A title and 3 UEFA Cups with Inter Milan and a World Cup with Italy in 1982. A very versatile and intelligent defender, Bergomi was one of the game's ultimate man markers. Incredibly, he represented Italy at 4 World Cups despite never playing in a single qualifying match. Philipp Lahm. We told you Germany had a lot to shout about when it came to right-backs, and the second and final German to make this 7 is Philipp Lahm. Nicknamed the Magic Dwarf, Lahm hung up his boots earlier this year and was still among the best fullbacks in the world aged 34. Described by Pep Guardiola, a man who has managed the likes of Xavi and Messi, as the most intelligent footballer he'd ever worked with, Lahm was also very versatile. Played in midfield for much of the latter stages of his career, we still think he was best utilised as a fullback. The former Stuttgart man almost won it all with club and country, from 8 Bundesligas and a Champions League with Bayern to the 2014 World Cup with Germany. Lilian Thuram. Yet another very versatile player, Lilian Thuram was just as good at centre-back as he was at right-back, and he was also no stranger to being played in defensive midfield. A dominant defender with a fine reading of the game, Thuram played for Monaco, Parma, Juventus and Barcelona. Part of a tremendous French back line that won the World Cup in 1998 and the European Championships in 2000, Thuram was without doubt one of the best defenders of his generation. Cafu. Tireless, tenacious and remarkably consistent, former Sao Paulo fullback Cafu is the most capped Brazilian international of all time. He is the only man in history to play in 3 consecutive World Cup finals, of which he won 2, and he represented his country in the tournament 4 times in total. A manager's dream, Cafu was so industrious, but also defensively sound and a real outlet down the right flank. He spent the majority of his career in Italy's Serie A, where he won 2 league titles and 1 Champions League. Probably the best right back in the last quarter of a century, Cafu is a member of both the Roma and AC Milan Hall of Fames. Carlos Alberto Torres. From one World Cup winning Brazil captain to another, Carlos Alberto Torres is a Brazilian hero. Having made his international debut in 1964, Torres was bizarrely left out of Brazil's squad for the 1966 World Cup. They made no such mistake in 1970 when he captained them to glory in emphatic style, scoring that famous goal in the final against Italy. Carlos Alberto played for a handful of clubs in Brazil and the US, but his best years came in a Santos side which ranks among the greatest of all time. As a player, Torres had great stamina and technique, as well as being a born leader and a real threat in the final third. Djalma Santos. As impressive as the Germans are at right back, no one can compete with the Brazilians, and our 3 greatest right backs of all time all hail from South America's most successful footballing nation. Djalma Santos is not just the best right back to have ever lived, but also the most important, as he revolutionised the way in which the position is played. The attacking duties that all fullbacks must now have in the modern game can be traced back to Santos. His role as an offensive fullback was so devastating that it was picked up by teams across the globe. Djalma Santos played in 4 World Cups, making the team of the tournament in 3 of them and winning 2. A complete fullback, Djalma Santos takes our crown as the greatest right back of all time. That's it for our 7. You can find a whole host of honourable mentions in the video description below. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the ever brilliant HITC Sevens.